who invited bishops to draw near to their flock, since their closeness expresses the care of God for his people. As servants of all, bishops need to be aware that their ministry should be a method of pastoral care, proclamation, and governance. Bishops, he added, should welcome those who knock on the doors of the church, while never forgetting other challenges that are more cultural and social, including war, violence, the suffering of the poor, ethical challenges, and the desire for a world based on fraternity and solidarity. In conclusion, Pope Leo XIV prayed that new bishops may never lack the wind of the Spirit, and that the joy of your ordination, like a sweet fragrance, may also spread over those who you are going to save.
The Tikondani Childcare Center, operated by the Missionary Sisters of Our Lady of Africa under the Diocese of Lilongwe, held its open day on Wednesday at St. Maria Goretti Girls Catholic Secondary School in Lilongwe, highlighting the organization's 27-year commitment to rehabilitating and reintegrating street children into society. Speaking to Luntha News, Principal Social Welfare Officer Derek Mwenda emphasized the importance of raising children within family environments rather than leaving them vulnerable on the streets. In a separate interview, Project Coordinator Sister Mary Sakina reflected on Tikondani's journey, describing it as both rewarding and challenging. We have more details on this report, followed by Gift Kalunga.
The Tikondani Childcare Open Day was held under the theme Breaking the Circle of Street-Connected Children. Let's hold hands in supporting them for sustainable reintegration. Brought together parents, chiefs, guardians, and government officials and other stakeholders to celebrate Tikondani's 27-year journey of supporting vulnerable children. Speaking with Luntha News, Principal Social Welfare Officer for Lilongwe, Derek Mwenda, highlighted the challenges facing efforts to remove children from the streets. He noted that while government has been reintegrating children into their families and communities, many eventually return to the streets due to unsustainable approaches. Mwenda further stressed that while Malawi has made progress in protecting children's rights, many still face neglect, abuse, and exploitation, largely due to irresponsible parenting.
As a country, and specifically Lilongwe, we have a lot of children that are flocking into the streets. And as a government, we are advocating for the reintegration of all the children from the streets and also from the institutions. So we have been taking back children into their villages, into their homes, but we have discovered that most of them, they also come back into the streets because the process that we use sometimes for integration is not sustainable.
Tikondani Project Coordinator, Sister Mary Sakina, described the organization's 27-year journey as both challenging and rewarding. Sister Sakina also said the program has supported many children who have since changed their behavior, completed tertiary education, and become responsible citizens. However, she pointed out gaps in support for other stakeholders after reintegration, as well as economic challenges faced by families.
Children have changed behavior, others have gone to school, others have even finished universities, and they have become grown up, they have their own families, and even they are very successful in life. The part of challenges, there are many challenges. One is sometimes we don't have other stakeholders who continue where Tikondani has left.
Meanwhile, the Malawi government, through the Lilongwe Social Welfare Office, has appealed to all Malawians to collaborate with them to reintegrate street children to their homes and to respect children's rights regardless of their condition. For Luntha News, this is Gift Kalonga.
The High Court in Luntha has dismissed a judicial review case seeking an independent audit of the Malawi Electoral Commission's MIG electoral management system. Delivering his ruling earlier today, Judge Chimbiziani Gajeje stated that MIG acted within its legal mandate in rejecting the proposed audit. He further affirmed that the Commission has the authority to make unilateral decisions on voter identification and may use electronic transmission of results, provided that final determinations are based on physical copies. The case was brought forward by the Democratic Progressive Party (DPP), UTM, and other stakeholders who had challenged MEC's decision on audit refusal, voter identification, and result transmission procedures. The Civil Division of the High Court in Lilongwe has temporarily stayed its dismissal of a case filed by Johnston Ndlovu, an aspiring candidate for Ngwenya constituency in Lilongwe City. Ndlovu had taken the Malawi Electoral Commission MEC to court, challenging its decision to exclude him from the list of approved contestants. In his ruling on Wednesday, Judge William Iyakuwawa Msisia stated that the claimant had used an incorrect procedure to initiate the case. However, the court granted a temporary stay of the dismissal, allowing Ndlovu until Friday the 12th of September to file a formal application for the stay. Speaking to Luntha television, MEC's legal representatives Emmanuel Chapo confirmed that the temporary stay remains in effect until 12 September, after which the court will make a final determination. Robert Edward caught up with Chapo.
The court has dismissed the petition, the application, because it was wrongly brought before the court. Yeah, that's what the court has said. It should have been brought as a judicial review. Because you see, when a person is bringing an application before the court, they have to state under what law they are bringing that application, so that then the court knows what jurisdiction it should invoke in that particular case. So if you approach the court under a wrong procedure, because once the court establishes that it doesn't have jurisdiction to matter because it has been wrongly approached, then it can't. There's no cure. It's a separate difference.
President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera on Thursday officially opened the newly constructed Cholo District Council office complex, describing it as a symbol of his administration's respect for the people of Cholo. Chakwera said it would not have been right for his government to invest in such facility without officially handing it over to the people. Built at a cost of 7.9 billion Malawi kwacha, the four-story facility, constructed with government funding, is designed to house all 9 council directorates under one roof, alongside other essential services such as the Immigration Department for passport issuance. Judith Organ has filed a report read in our studios by Gift Kalunga.
The complex, which comprises more than 70 fully furnished offices, is expected to improve efficiency, enhance service delivery, and create a user-friendly environment for both staff and residents. President Chakwera stressed that the project reflects his administration's respect for the people of Cholo and its commitment to bringing development to all districts across Malawi. He dismissed claims by some politicians that his administration has neglected development in Cholo, Mulanje, Palombe and Chirazulu. He added that nowhere else in the country has such a modern and magnificent office complex been constructed, underlining his government's commitment to uplifting all districts.
Ndipo Malawi monse muno kulibe komwe tamanga ofesi ya DC ngati imene nkuyamba uku. Ndiye ndikuthokozeni nonse amene mumagwirizana nane manja kuti ntchitoyi itheke. Ndi mawu amenewa, I declare this DC office officially opened. Ambuye akudalitseni nonse zikomo.
Later in the day, President Dr. Chakwera officially inaugurated the 20,000 capacity Zomba Stadium, saying he has fulfilled the promise he made to build a new sports arena for the district. Chakwera said that since taking office, his administration has delivered numerous development projects across the country, including in Zomba district. The Malawi leader also appealed to Zomba residents to take good care of the stadium and other development projects.
The Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiative, CIDED, has voiced serious concerns regarding the recent translocation of elephants from Luntha National Park to Kasungu National Park, an operation led by the International Fund for Animal Welfare. Speaking during a press briefing held at the Korean Garden in Lilongwe, CIDED Executive Director Sylvester Namiwa criticized the initiative, arguing that the relocation has had adverse effects on surrounding communities. Namiwa called for greater transparency and community engagement in conservation efforts, stressing that wildlife projects must balance ecological goals with the well-being of local residents. Emmanuel Chiwocha has more details in this report.
Namiwa highlighted that since July 2022, IFO translocated 263 elephants from Liwonde to Kasung, a move CIDED believes disregards the primacy of human life and welfare. The executive director emphasized that the sanctity of human life should supersede animal welfare concerns in this context. He urged IFO to prioritize protecting human rights and ensuring the safety of the people living in Kasungu. The translocation of elephant had severe consequences for local communities. According to Namiwa, 12 people have lost their lives due to elephant-related incidents in Kasungu following the translocation. Additionally, 1,741 households have suffered direct losses, struggling to exist peacefully with the relocated wildlife in their community and country.
To life, right to food, right to free movement, and right to education. In fact, to put it bluntly, they are arbitrarily grabbing land that used to belong to people that have been inhabitants for over a period of 100 years. Now, they should not be rewarded for this gross violation of human rights. This is why we are giving them 14 days to ensure that they should immediately commence relief food distribution to people in Zambia and Malawi, the affected people. At the same time, they should construct a wire fence on the Zambian side, like the case they have done with Malawi side. Thirdly, we demand compensation for the deaths, injuries, loss of crops, and the disturbance. As I'm talking to you now, what started like a usual human-elephant conflict has culminated into a fully-blown battlefield that has led to the death of human beings, 12 human beings, and 80 elephants. We rally Malawians and Zambians and the entire world that believes in the sanctity of life, both for animals and humans, to join this fight to ensure that we should hold IFO and its associates accountable for their actions and failure to act.
CIDED has given IFO 14 days to act swiftly to address the suffering of Kasungu residents, ensuring their rights to life and peaceful living. For Luntha News, this is Emmanuel Chiwocha.
Remember that you're watching news coming to you live from Bishop Navy Media Center, and today with me, Tandy Wenzumara. But before we proceed, another look at the headlines.
Pope Leo XIV urges newly ordained bishops to shepherd with compassion and faith. High Court in Luntha upholds Malawi Electoral Commission's electoral mandate and dismisses Olive challenge. Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiative, CIDED, raises alarm over elephant relocation impact on communities in Kasungu. And in other news, United States authorities find rifle, release photos, and hunt for killer of Charlie Kirk.
Proceeding with the news, the Malawi Communications Regulatory Authority, MAGRA, has reaffirmed its commitment to increasing ICT infrastructure and internet service access in geographically disadvantaged schools across the country. MAGRA Data Protection Compliance Officer Trapson Aaron stated this during a groundbreaking ceremony for Phase 2 of the Connected School project held at Mingongo Community Day Secondary School in Lilongwe District. We have more details on this report followed by Charity Shilanga.
In an interview, Elon said the project aims to address the information communication technology ICT access gap as identified in the 2023 survey between rural and urban area residents. Aaron emphasized that the project being implemented in phases is expected to erect more structures in several rural-situated schools, focusing on enhancing access to ICT services in rural areas. He said students and surrounding residents will be having the privilege to connect with the world, accessing information and increase their knowledge in ICT services through free internet.
Okay, what happened was in 2023 we had a national survey on the use and access of ICT infrastructures here in Malawi. So it was found that only in urban areas people were familiar with the ICT, but coming to the rural areas, it was found that most of the people in the rural areas had no access to the ICT.
Head teacher for Mingongo CDS's Evans Kamanga said the ICT laboratory will complement efforts to improve the performance of students, as students will have access to important up-to-date information essential for pursuing their studies.
The school will benefit a lot since the school is in a remotest area. With this system of digitalization, I think learners will really be equipped with science skills. I think in the end, we are going to have so many scientists here. So the school itself will benefit out, even outcome of the results, I think will be almost 100%.
Phase 2 of the Connect to School project is funded by the Universal Service Fund USF under MACRA, and 120 structures filled with about 60 ICT equipment, including free internet, are expected to be erected in selected rural institutions across the country.
The Lilongwe Water Board has expressed satisfaction with the initial operations of its newly established water bottling plant. Speaking at the official launch of the bottled water brand at Zalanyama Springs, Board Chairperson Inkosiama Kosimbera 5 described the milestone as a long-awaited dream come true for the institution. He emphasized that the achievement reflects the board's commitment to innovation and expanding access to safe drinking water. We have more details on this report, filed by Jacqueline Saidi.
According to Inkosiama Kosimbera V, the 4 billion kwacha bottling plant is one of the investments that falls under the public sector reforms commitment the Lilongwe Water Board signed with the central government. He then expressed excitement to finally unveil the plan, which he says will help with its goals of providing clean water.
We see this as a very big achievement because this project has been done with our own money, the revenues that we generate. We didn't get anywhere else, maybe some form of loans, no, but this is literally our savings that we make, which is going to also help us to make more projects, because now we have another revenue that we'll be expecting as Lilongwe Water Board. So it gives us an opportunity to invest into our core business, which is the water supply. So this is more of another revenue stream that is coming in to support us. But all in all, we're also happy that we're serving Malawians with a quality product.
In his remarks, Controller of Statutory Corporations, Peter Simbani, commended Lilongwe Water Board for a bold move, which he says will definitely boost revenue and economic impact, urging other parastatals to take the same route and move from loss-making mode.
This is a milestone by the Lilongwe Water Board. You remember that in 2020, government introduced the public sector reforms program, and the Lilongwe Water Board presented a bottling plant as one of their reform areas. And today I'm very happy that they have been able to deliver on what they had promised government that are going to implement.
Meanwhile, Principal Secretary for Water and Sanitation, Elias Jomulambe, has urged government institutions and the entire private sector to support the investment, while noting that it's a win and a milestone for the ministry and the entire nation. For Luntha Television News, this is Jacqueline Saidi.
Now in international news, United States investigators have said that they had found the bolt-action rifle they believed was used to kill the influential conservative activist Charlie Kirk and released images of a person of interest as they searched for the shooter they described as college age. Kirk, a 31-year-old podcast radio commentator and close ally of U.S. President Donald Trump, is credited with helping build the Republican Party support among young voters. He was killed on Wednesday by a single gunshot as he gave a talk at a university in Utah in what Trump called a heinous assassination. We have more details on this Reuters report read by Phyllis Chisombe.
The killing, captured in graphic detail in videos that laboratory spread along the internet, occurred during a midday event attended by 3,000 people at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah, about 40 miles south of Salt Lake City. Kirk, co-founder and president of the conservative student group Turning Point USA, was pronounced dead at a local hospital hours later. His killing stirred immediate expressions of outrage and denunciations of political violence from Democrats, Republicans, and foreign governments. Cox said Kirk's events on college campuses were part of a tradition of open political debate that was foundation to the formation of our country, to our most basic constitutional rights. Kirk began his career in conservative politics as a teenager. A little more than a decade later, some of the friends he made along the way are now at the highest levels of U.S. government and media, with Vance recalling that he was in multiple group chats with Kirk. The shooting punctured the most sustainable period of U.S. political violence since the 1970s. Reuters has documented more than 300 cases of politically motivated violence across the ideological spectrum since supporters of Trump attacked the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. Trump himself has survived 2 attempts on his life, one that left him with a grazed ear during a campaign event in July 2024, and another 2 months later fired by federal agents. The lone perpetrator, suspected of firing the single gunshot that struck Kirk in the neck, apparently from a rooftop sniper's position on campus, remained at large, said Bill Mason, commissioner of the Utah Department of Public Safety, at a news conference 4 hours after the shooting. State police issued a statement on Wednesday night saying that 2 men had been detained and one was interrogated by law enforcement, but both were released and manhunt continued. Kirk was married and the father of 2 young children, had just returned to the U.S. from an overseas speaking tour in South Korea and Japan. In a video message tapped in the Oval Office, Trump vowed that his administration would track down those responsible for Kirk's killing.
And that also marks the end of our news bulletin, but before we go, here's a reminder of the headlines.
Pope Leo XIV urges newly ordained bishops to shepherd with compassion and faith. High Court in Luntha upholds Malawi Electoral Commission's electoral mandate and dismisses plaintiff challenge. Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiative (CIDED) raises alarm over elephant relocation impact on communities in Kasungu. And in other news, United States authorities find rifle, release photos, and hunt for killer of Charlie Kirk.
My name is Tandi Wemzumara. Thank you for keeping me company, and do continue following the rest of our programs right here on Luntha TV. Do remember that we also have news and other programs on our social media pages. We're on Facebook at Luntha Television and on YouTube at Luntha TV Official. Do stay tuned. Goodbye for now and stay safe.